Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm the one of the members of Fantastic Q5. I'm Nanda Aulia, my NPM 2021222089. Here I will explain about informative speech. The first, defining an informative speech. An informative speech is one that intends to educate the audience on a particular topic. A statement expressing the essential nature of something formulation. Informative is providing knowledge, especially useful or interesting information. The main goal of an informative speech is to provide enlightenment regarding a specific topic the audience knows nothing about. A speaker must deliver a speech in accordance with the material and must control the material. A speaker must also have the purpose of delivering the topic, whether it is informational or entertaining or some other purpose. Besides that, informative speeches must also be conveyed clearly, because the speech has important information in it. Second, the strategies or approaches in informative speech. The strategies or approaches for defining information are available to the informative speech speaker. Number 1. List the goals of an informative speech or setting goals. You need to determine a series of goals in order to create a successful informative speech. The first purpose of an informative speech is to enhance audience understanding. Then the second is to keep the audience interest, and the final goal of an informative speech is for the audience to remember the speech. Number 2. Explain how to effectively scope an informative speech or scope out a specific target. Every information in the speech must be relevant to the topic, objective, and thesis, so listeners can easily follow or understand the speech. Number 3. Consider the audience. Consider the audience who will be listening to the speech. Number 4. Choose a topic that is relevant to your audience. Making the topic relevant to your audience will allow them to remember the information contained in your speech. Number 5. Make connections among your ideas and with audience interests or connecting information. In your speech, you should make connection between pieces of information for your audience. Number 6. Tailor abstraction to the specific content and the audience level of understanding. We must choose the appropriate words with the aim that the audience can have a more specific and concrete connection with what we say. Number 7. Make your speech memorable for your audience or memorable speech. Use visual aids and repeat key points of your speech. Making your informative speech memorable increases the likelihood that your audience will retain the information. Okay, and then how a speaker comprehends the audience. The speaker can direct the attention of the audience to what is important by using change in rate and volume, body movement, and gesture to emphasize what is important. Second, it is important to read the nonverbal clues of the audience to understand if they have shifted their attention somewhere else. Third, geographical and cultural concerns. If you are being asked to speak to an audience in a foreign city, or especially a foreign country, one of your first duties is to ensure that you familiarize yourself with the proper way to behave in front of them. And then, current events and knowing the context. Just as it is important to understand local customs, it is equally important to know what is making news in an audience community. There might be several points in your speech that would slightly offend certain people or the entire group if they were spoken in the wrong context. And age of your audience. Just as the size of an audience can determine how to speak to them, the average age of your audience will influence what they are expecting and how your message should be conveyed. To use an obvious example, a speech to high school students would certainly be very different from a speech to senior citizens, but there could be not so obvious consideration. And last one, appearance. Before you arrive for your speech, ensure that you know how your audience will appear. Nothing would make you more uncomfortable or perhaps an audience more insulted. If you arrive dressed in an inappropriate manner, you should first check with the person who invited you to speak and ask them how you should be dressed for the occasion. There are many strategies to employ to hold the attention of the audience, but the most important is the ability to establish and maintain a genuine connection with the people in the audience. And then, types of subjects for informative speeches. Informative speech can cover many subjects as long as the subject suits the purpose of the information speech. Number 1. Type of description speech. So our subject can describe a person, place, or anything. We can also add visuals to help out. Number 2. Type of explanatory speech. So the subject can be historical or cultural. For example, how the history of the Borobudur temple was founded. And number 3. Type of demonstration speech. Then the subject can be about the field of advertising or how to create a work. For example, the speaker explains how to create a personal blog to the audience. And last one, types of speech definitions. Then we can take the general theory subject. For example, the speaker can provide an explanation of the theory relativity or anything that is theoretical. Okay, and last one, key points in an informative speech. Some key points to keep in mind while creating an informative speech. The first, apply knowledge of your audience when composing your speech. Example, consider the audience that will be hearing your speech, and tailoring the complexity of the speech to your audience means considering how best they receive information. And then considering how much information your audience already knows should help you tailor the complexity of your speech. And second, it is important for the speaker to think about how this information will be presented. Third, when deciding what type of informative speech you want to write and deliver, consider what you want the audience to know about your topic. And last one, look at the subject carefully and eliminate any potential statements that have prejudice or might persuade the audience. I think that all of them can help you to do informative speech and also have to practice often to get used to it. And I think it is just enough. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.